Hello, my English 113 students. Hope everyone has had a wonderful previous week. As we look into week 10, we get into the complicated annotated bibliography. Oh my goodness. Okay, but again, just like anything, if you take it step by step, it's going to be okay. For the annotated bibliography, which is Writing Project 2, that was all explained in detail in week 9's video. So if you haven't watched week 9 or if you haven't watched it recently, watch this because it explains quite a bit about Writing Project 2, which is the annotated bibliography, and kind of what you're going to be looking for. As a reminder, if you read that, it says you need to analyze a literary work. Since we've already read Raisin in the Sun, we are going to use that one for this class. You will analyze Raisin in the Sun. You need to find 4 sources and then answer questions. Again, if you look at this, so let's just look at this real quick. Okay. So this is the thing. So this explains Writing Project 2. But basically, again, what you're going to do is that we're going to write a paper, which will be Writing Project 3. But right now we're just working on the annotated bibliography part of it, which is the narrative devices that are used to develop the theme. And then from there, you will answer these questions again. Watch week 9. It explains it much better. This week is not really about that. But what this week is about, for week 10 here, it is about how to kind of put together a annotated bibliography. So there's a lecture here that kind of explains what an annotated bibliography is and how you put it together. And yeah, again, it's actually very beneficial for what we're going to be doing for the last writing project, which is Writing Project 3. In addition, as you will see coming up, you also need to be able to understand ethos, pathos, and logos. You're like, oh, what is that? You should have learned that at least in English 112, if not English 111. That may have been a while ago for you. So I did post a video to remind you what the difference is. So you can watch this video. It's not very long, but it just reminds you what those 3 things are. Because, again, when you're analyzing a document, you want to make sure that you are analyzing it correctly. Now, what does an annotated bibliography look like when you're done? Well, if you click on this, and then you click on that, and I've already downloaded it, this is what it looks like. This is an MLA formatting, so this will be an MLA formatting. So this is what an MLA formatting annotated bibliography looks like. Okay, this is the information up here, whatever. That's MLA formatting. We covered that a couple weeks ago. But basically, you have an article, and then you analyze the article. Now, this isn't nearly as much information as you need to do for the Writing Project 2, because again, it's not really answering all the questions. But I just want you to take a look at it. So you'll notice that over here, I don't know what happened here. I think it's because it got messed up there. That's what it should be. So this should be this. You notice that the sources are in alphabetical order. So A, it's done by last name, C, E, well, that's the same thing. K. So again, it's in alphabetical order. This has a lot more sources than you need. You only need 4. This has like 8 or 9 or something like that. But the idea is you find a source and then you evaluate it, and you write basically information about that source that'll help you analyze things. How this helps you later on is when you go to write the paper. Well, you have to do a research paper, and you needed to have sources. Well, guess what? By analyzing each of these sources individually, when you go to write your paper, you can, instead of having to go back to each of the sources and try to find the information again, you have basically the information that it covers there. So basically, it is very beneficial when you're writing that overall paper. Okay, so let's go back to this. So the question is, oh, where am I going to find these sources? Do not use Google. Boo! Do not use Wikipedia. Boo! Okay, what I would do instead, well, let's kind of take a step back. So if you go to the Shaw University webpage, under current students, if you go over here to libraries, this will bring you to the library thing. NC Live, it says online tutorials, but I would just click here to go to NC Live, period. Okay, and there's some tutorials on there if you need to see how to use it. But under NC Live, I would type in Raisin in the Sun. Look at that. Oh. And then I would search. These are going to be, look at this, scholarly articles. What? News and magazine articles? Ebooks? Understanding a Raisin in the Sun? What? Look how easy that was. And these are actually legitimate articles that, you can actually use in research papers. Ta-da! So let's say you want to look at more scholarly articles. There's more than this. So let's click on this one to see more articles. And then we're going to go over here. I'm going to show you a neat trick. Once we get here, let's say we want to use this source. Let's just for giggles. Okay, so we click on this, and then it's going to take a second for it to load up. But it's brought to you by NC Live. Okay, it's loading, it's loading. Okay, so then here is a whole bunch of information you could look through about Raisin in the Sun as you're trying to figure out the themes and the narrative, different things. So you could read through this and kind of analyze it. And then you would use one of these. This would be one source out of the 4 that you need. Okay? When it comes time, if you go back and you look at the annotated bibliography, you'll notice that it's got like, you need to have this information here. Oh my goodness, how am I supposed to do that? Well, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Because if you use NC Live, there's a little button here called Cite. If you click on Cite, okay, you'll notice that it has the information right here. But this is APA. We don't want APA. We want it to be, because this is an MLA paper, so we want it to be MLA 8th edition, the latest edition, MLA. And then you would just do this. Ba-da-da-da-da. There, you don't really need this retrieved from all this kind of stuff. So just up to that point in time. You've copied that. And then on your paper, if you want to enter in a new source, you would just paste that bad boy. Look at that. Da-da-da-da-da. How cool is that, huh? Yeah, saves you a lot of grief. So that is, yeah. So there is, again, a chance for, that's where you can find some sources, and it'll help you put that together for your annotated bibliography. Okay. So the rough draft of the annotated bibliography is due by the 17th. Now, if you want to peek ahead, now again, you get full points for just submitting a rough draft, so I can look at it and give you some suggestions. Looking ahead to week 11, writing project 2, you want to see how you're going to get graded on it? No problem. You click on this. When you submit it eventually, because again, you're going to send in a rough draft, if you click on the rubric, and it'll probably pull up the wrong rubric because I'm in teacher mode, so I'll have to actually find the right one. English 113, Writing Project 2. Okay. This is the rubric, okay, your source selection, your argumentative tools, your annotations, the assignment criteria. This will show you exactly what we're looking for. The variety of sources, so you don't want to have everything just from one source, okay, mix it up. And then grammar and spelling do count. So, yeah, that seems like a lot. Yeah, well, this is the last English class for a lot of you, so it is a lot. Okay, so going back to writing project 2 here in week 10. Let's go stick back to week 10. You going to go back to week 10 for me? You're trying. That's week 11. Okay, so to go through each of these again. Watch this lecture on annotated bibliography. That'll help you. Watch this video on ethos, pathos, logos, because you'll need to, when you analyze the bibliography sources, you want to make sure you are looking at it from these 3 point of views, because that's part of your grade for writing project 2. There's the sample paper. Again, you're going to submit your rough draft by the 17th, so I can look at it and give you suggestions, so you can fix it, make it all nicey nice. There is a quiz on the annotated bibliography based on this lecture. It's not very hard, 5 questions. You can do it. I'll let you take it twice. And then if you remember, a few weeks ago, I assigned you this poetry and short story presentation. If you've completely forgotten about that, you need to go back to, I think it was week 8. Yeah, the poetry and short presentation. Yeah, so I gave you a couple weeks to work on that. So that's what's going on for week 10. So, and then the following week, we will be submitting writing project 2, and then we get into writing project 3. Bum, bum, bum. There you go. So that's what's going on for week 10. And, all right, a little tough. This is a little challenging. A little hard, I understand that, but this is what's required for this class. This is required by the school, and I know you can do it. You just got to buckle down and do it. And if you need help, please contact the Writing Center. They are delighted and want to help you very much with this. All right, go get it done.